Welcome to the Quick and Dirty Tips to Slim Down and Shape Up. My name is Brock Armstrong and I'm the Get Fit Guy. The United States is currently poised to consume a whopping 51,650,000 turkeys during Thanksgiving this year, with each turkey coming in at about 13,878 calories, which is 771 calories per pound of meat. Well, that's a heck of a lot of excess calories. And you know what? We haven't even gotten to the side dishes yet. The average American consumes about 3,500 calories during a Thanksgiving meal. And according to the USDA National Agriculture Statistics Service, it breaks down like this. The annual consumption of turkey by the average American is 16 pounds. The annual tons of green beans produced is 659,340 tons. The pounds of sweet potatoes produced annually is 2.4 billion pounds. And the total barrels of cranberries produced annually is 7,600,000. Okay, sure, not all of these are consumed in just that one festive meal, but an awful lot of them are. And when you indulge in large meals like this, aside from derailing your fitness goals, some pretty scary health issues can follow. Researchers have actually found that there's an increase in your risk of dying from a heart attack after indulging in a hefty meal. Yikes! Let's face it though, you are probably going to have at least one big meal on Thanksgiving Day and likely another one later in December, potentially along with some larger amounts of sitting on your butt and consuming more alcohol than you normally do. So, with most gyms closed, what are some things that you can do to maximize your calorie burning potential and limit the damage from all that excessive eating? How will you keep your fitness, your weight loss, or your just plain good health in check during this monstrous eating time? Well, a few years ago, the Get Fit Guy Twitter feed said, the average American eats about 3,000 to 3,500 calories during Thanksgiving. That's 14,500 jumping jacks. Well, thankfully, over the years, the Get Fit Guy dynasty has revealed that there are better, faster, and more fun ways to burn calories than doing thousands and thousands of jumping jacks. And I'm going to round them up for you in this one helpful podcast. So tip number 1 is the 6-minute boost. Sure, an after-dinner stroll certainly doesn't burn many calories, though it is better than sitting on the couch with your feet up. But a recent study proved that a brief 6-minute bout of movement before a big meal is a pretty darn effective way to improve blood sugar control. The study showed that an intense 6-minute walk, such as maybe a jog or walking up a very steep hill, done 30 minutes before a big meal significantly improved the subject's glycemic response to the meal. And since surges in blood sugar can lead to that dastardly unwanted deposits of belly fat that we're trying to get rid of, well, this is good news. You can also try this 6-minute trick by going up and down a set of stairs or doing some burpees or some body weight squats. And sure, even some jumping jacks will do the trick. Just make sure you keep it to 6 minutes instead of 14,500. Okay, tip number 2 is to shiver. Over at getfitguy.quickanddirtytips.com, you'll see that the hopper is filled with information about the benefits of cold for weight control. Check out the articles How to Burn More Fat with Cold and How to Use Cold Weather to Lose Weight for some helpful and informative tips. You know, I generally start pretty much every one of my days with a cold shower, although this started when I was a kid and my grandfather told me that a true gentleman saves the hot water for the ladies. But whatever the rationale, this practice can help burn up to 500 extra calories per day. It can also help stabilize your blood sugar levels and increase some of your hormone levels, including adenopectin, which is a hormone that helps your body tap into its own fatty acids as fuel. Now, for even more of these cooling benefits, or if you live somewhere that isn't that cold in the winter, you can keep your home a little cooler this winter or invest in some cooling gear like a vest or compression clothes that you can slip little ice packs into. You can also do what's called a shiver walk, where you go for a walk on an empty stomach in the morning for 20 to 45 minutes in some cold weather. And you only wear a hat, some gloves, a t-shirt, and a pair of shorts. I know it sounds uncomfortable, but trust me, once you do it a few times, it gets addictive and invigorating. Now, tip number 3 is the best workouts for fat loss. The University of California published a study in 2008 which investigated what the best workout for fat loss was. During the study, they split the participants into 3 groups. One group did cardio, one group did weight training, and a final group did cardio plus weight training by running for 30 to 60 seconds after completing each weightlifting set. Now, each group did the same amount of work, but the cardio plus resistance group experienced a significant boost in fat loss compared to the other 2 groups. And they not only burned fat and built muscle at the same time, but the amount of fat they burned was, get this, 10 times more than the amount burned by the other groups that did the solo cardio or the solo resistance training. Now, sadly, they did not also put on 10 times the amount of muscle, but we learned why this is during my experiment with CrossFit, and you can find a link to that at getfitguy.quickanddirtytips.com and look for episode 364. I've said it before and I will say it again. When it comes to burning the most fat, combining cardio and resistance training is the ultimate solution. Now, if that statement leaves you scratching your head a little bit, well, here's a sample workout to get you started. After doing some kind of full body warm-up, I like a few minutes of sun salutations, do the following. 10 push-ups, immediately followed by 15 to 20 jumping jacks. Then 10 squats or lunges, followed again by 15 to 20 more jumping jacks. Then 10 crunches, followed again by 15 or 20 jumping jacks. And then finally 10 dumbbell overhead presses, followed by 15 to 20 jumping jacks. And okay, here's a pro tip. If you aren't into doing all those jumping jacks, well, you can try some squat thrust jumps, some burpees, vertical jumps with high knees, or lunge jumps, whichever you prefer. Now, tip number 4 is to grease the groove. Greasing the groove is one of my favorite workouts to give the folks that I coach when they have a busy day or they happen to be traveling. You can learn about it in the article called Unconventional Ways to Burn Fat, but in a nutshell, greasing the groove is the practice of doing brief bouts of exercise multiple times throughout the day. You can try this during the commercial breaks on the Thanksgiving Day football game, or between every course of the meal, or whenever you have a chance to duck away from the conversation. Politely excuse yourself and slip into the bathroom or the basement or any other empty room and do a quick series of heart rate increasing squats, lunge jumps, burpees, push-ups, or any other move that you can do without attracting, too much attention. If there's some snow on the ground, you could even go and make yourself useful and do some shoveling. All you need is a 1 to 2 minute burst of exercise before you return to the party, having helped stabilize your blood sugar and rev up your metabolism just enough to make a difference. Sure, you may return to the table breathing heavy or looking a little sweaty, but you can just blame that on the spicy salsa. Tip number 5 is to use 10-minute workouts. Okay, anytime can find 10 minutes to squeeze in a quick workout session, even during this busy holiday season. 10 minutes is short, but it is plenty of time to boost your metabolism and ramp up your calorie burning. Check out the article How to Make Time for Exercise for some more tips on getting it done. But now I'm going to give you a few examples with no need to warm up or cool down. Just jump right in, and don't forget that if you have extra time, you will get even more benefit from rocking the 10-minute workouts 2 or 3 additional times, spread evenly throughout the day. Let's start with the 10-minute workout full body burn. All you need is 1 pair of dumbbells or something else that's heavy to lift, and a chair or a set of stairs. For this one, you actually do warm up with 25 or 50 jumping jacks, then do 10 to 15 reps of each of the following exercise, back to back. The first exercise is dumbbell squat with overhead press to bent side raises. Then you finish that and move on to dumbbell push-up row to a single arm dumbbell row. And then finally you move on to high knee step-ups to reverse lunges. And don't worry, all of this is in the show notes over at getfitguy.quickanddirtytips.com. Look for episode 364. The next 10-minute workout is for your butt, abs, and thighs. No equipment needed for this one. Just complete this routine as a circuit one time through, moving as quickly as you can between these exercises. 25 bodyweight squats, 10 lunge jumps per side, 10 side plank rotations, 10 front plank taps, 10 lateral lunges per side, 10 squat jumps, 25 kickouts per side, and then you finish with a 60-second squat hold. Now, the final 10-minute workout is the maximum calorie burn. Again, no equipment needed, just do this circuit 3 times through. And it goes like this: 25 to 50 jumping jacks, 5 push-ups, 10 squat thrust jumps, 5 push-ups, 10 vertical jumps, and 5 push-ups. And again, you do that 3 times through. Tip number 6 is to use some body weight moves. Many studies have shown that a pre-meal exercise session and a post-meal exercise session, or both, can significantly increase fat oxidation and metabolic rate. The good news is that you can benefit from just a few reps or a few minutes of a body weight exercise as well. So try some of these before and after your largest holiday meal. The first one is counter movement jumps. And for this, you squat down and you swing your arms, and then you jump as high as you can, you land and repeat. Pretty easy. Set a timer on your phone for just 2 minutes and do as many as you can before that 2 minutes runs out. Now the next one is side plank rotations. For this, you drop to the ground and get on your right or your left side in a plank position. Then you reach for the sky with the other arm and then reach down and around through the space between your ribs and the floor. Then you reach for the sky again and back and forth until your abs give out and you start to shake. Then do the other side. And the final one is double leg back bridge. Again, you get down to the floor on your back with your knees bent and then thrust your hips toward the ceiling and then lower them back down. And this time you do as many reps as you can until your butt gives out. All right, tip number 7 is plan ahead. Because holiday hours can be sketchy and even somewhat random, make sure you check with your gym in advance to find out when their holiday hours are. That way, on the days when they're actually closed, you can plan to go for a walk or a run or be prepared for a body weight exercise session at home or even plan a game of shinny at the local rink. Just get creative. You can also set exercise goals that get you boosting your metabolism early in the morning, like blasting out 20 minutes of high-intensity interval training before 9 a.m. Not only is that a great way to start your day, but it leaves plenty of room to grease the groove for the remainder of the day. If you're traveling, make sure you do a search for gyms nearby where you're staying, or pack some resistance bands, some exercise gear, and your running shoes. Also, be sure to check out the article, How to Stay Fit When Traveling, for some workouts that you can do when you're away from your home. And tip number 8 is don't stress out. If, or perhaps more accurately, when holiday stress happens, there are things you can do. As we discussed in the article, How Exercise Affects the Brain, one of the best ways to control stress is simply to get some exercise. This may seem counterintuitive since stress often makes you want to skip your exercise, but it's true that exercise is actually one of the best stress busters. And remember that when it comes to exercise, every little bit helps. Don't be an all or nothing person and think, well, I can't get my regular 45-minute swim workout in, so I guess I'll just skip it altogether. Just do what you can and your mood is certain to improve. And finally, tip number 9 is don't give in. I probably wouldn't be rounding all these tips up, and you probably wouldn't be listening to them, if holiday weight gain wasn't kind of accepted as inevitable. Now, because of that, it's easy to feel okay about overindulging, succumbing to gluttony, and giving in to laziness during the holidays. But let me ask you this. Wouldn't it feel much better if on January 1st your New Year's resolution wasn't get back into shape? What if you were still as fit as ever and could instead resolve to learn a language or start a side business, take up knitting, or set your sights on a goal like racing a triathlon or a marathon with me as your coach? I mean, picture that. Pretty pleasing, isn't it? Much more enticing than the passing pleasure of an extra piece of pie or needing to loosen your pants to make room for more stuffing and then falling asleep slouched over on the couch at 7 p.m. in some sort of turkey coma. Okay, I know I've given you a lot of info here, but let me break it down for you. Even if you simply choose the 6-minute trick plus some cold exposure, or you try out the best workout for fat loss and chuck in some greasing the groove this holiday season, you will be well on your way to burning off that 16 pounds of turkey in no time. And sure, if you can implement all 9 of these tips, well, fantastic. But don't let perfection be the enemy of good. Do what you can so you come out of this holiday season on top. And if you'd like more tips on how to stay slim, fit, and trim during this holiday season, send me an email at getfitguy@quickanddirtytips.com. That's getfitguy@quickanddirtytips.com, and I will hook you up with a little holiday magic that the nutrition diva, Monica Reinagel, and I are cooking up for you this season. I think you'll find it very helpful. Now, anytime you need extra incentive to stay on track or to boost your holiday resolve, simply try picturing yourself on New Year's Eve reflecting on your year while feeling awesome and looking great. And let that be your motivation to make this holiday season a fit one. For more holiday info, turkey burning tips, or to join in the Thanksgiving conversation, head over to facebook.com/getfitguy or twitter.com/getfitguy or getfitguy.quickanddirtytips.com. I'm Brock Armstrong, the Get Fit Guy, asking you, what are you waiting for? Go get fit.